morning, students. I am Roshan Lal, PhD English of Kendriya Vidyalaya Masrak, and today we will start our chapter number 2. Chapter number 2, the title of the chapter is Lost Spring, and its subtitle is Stories of Stolen Childhood. This chapter is written by Anish Jung. I will later on tell you about Anish Jung also. Before we proceed further, let me tell you about the title of the chapter, that is The Lost Spring. Well, my dear children, the title of the lesson, Lost Spring, is a metaphorical title, or there is a metaphor in the title. Spring, as you know, spring is known as the king of all seasons. Spring symbolizes beauty all everywhere. Spring means beautiful flowers, greenery, sweet scented smell all around. Spring represents the beginning of the seasons in a year, and comparable to childhood, as young children bloom and mature and learn the ways of the world, exactly how nature flourishes. Lost spring, the loss of this childhood, the loss of innocence, opportunities, freedom to grow to their full potential to lead a satisfying life. So, Lost Spring, I hope you would well have understood it, describes the stories of stolen childhood. Childhood, which is supposed to be a beautiful time, a golden time of life. Lost spring means happiness, as I have told you earlier. A life where there is no happiness. Let's talk about the writer of the chapter, Anish Jung. Anish Jung was born in Hyderabad. Her father, Nawab Hoshiar Jung, was one of the principal advisors to the last reigning Nizam of Hyderabad. She was brought up as a child in strict Parda. Parda, you very well know. It is one of the customs in Muslim communities where ladies are instructed to wear burqa or parda, but later went on to study at Osmania University. Osmania University, it is located in Hyderabad, and the University of Michigan Ann Arbor, where she took a master's degree in sociology and American studies. She has been the editor of a magazine, Youth Times, and has written for several of the world's major newspapers. She has also written 2 books, When a Place Becomes a Person and Poems in Prose. Anish Jung is of 76 years old, and presently she is residing in New Delhi. Dear children, she was born in Raurkela. Raurkela is in Jharkhand. It is, and Hyderabad, Raurkela, is known as the steel city of our country. The following lesson is an excerpt from her book titled Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. Here she analyzes the grinding poverty and traditions which condemn the children to a life of exploitation. Here you can see the picture of the writer Anish Jung. Dear children, I want to show you some pictures. Look at this picture number 1. What do you see in the picture? Well, some people are moving from one place to another, and you can see some children in this picture, and they are having some heavy burden on their heads. Look at the picture number 2. Here in this picture you can see some ladies and some gents. Look at this picture also. Some laborers are here in this picture, and they are migrant laborers. And as you know, the world is undergoing a very severe viral disease, that is corona. These migrant laborers are jobless and homeless and are trying to return to their homes. Well, children, I want to ask you some questions. What could be some of the reasons for the migration of people from villages to cities? I hope you would try to give answers of these questions. Would you agree that promises made to poor children or poor people are rarely kept? Why do you think this happened in the incidents? So students, let's begin our first chapter. I would like to tell you the summary of the chapter first. So, part 1. Sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. The story begins with a character in the lesson. Name of the rag picker boy actually is Sahib-e-Alam, which means Lord of the whole universe. But it is very ironical. The child or the poor child himself does not know what his destiny is. So, the first part talks about the writer's impressions about the life of the unfortunate rag pickers. The rag pickers migrate from Dhaka and find a settlement in Simapuri. They end up losing their fields and homes due to storms. They then come to the big city to find a living but are poor, homeless, and jobless. The author then watches Sahib, a poor boy, the rag picker, every morning, who is always scrounging for gold. The author then watches Sahib, the rag picker, every morning, who is always scrounging for gold in her neighborhood. Garbage is actually the means of survival for the elders, and it is something wrapped in wonder for the children sometimes. The children find a coin or two from it. So, my dear children, you might be very well knowing, children especially love money because they can eat their own, the things, the sweets, the licorice, the candies. Garbage is the only means of their survival. This is their only way of earning. The writer feels awful to see Sahib, a rag picker, whose name also means the ruler of earth. But the poor child has lost his childhood and roams barefooted with his friends here and there. Right from morning to afternoon, the author comes across him in a tea stall. Sahib becomes sad as he realizes that he is no longer the master of his own destiny, and the loss of identity weighs heavily on his tender shoulders. In this way, my dear children, the author here is analyzing the poor conditions and traditions that push children to live a life of exploitation. They are also denied education and face hardships quite early in their lives. The writer comes across Sahib, a rag picker whose parents have left Dhaka and their life of poverty to earn a living in Delhi. Just like many other families, even his family lives in Simapuri. They don't own any other identification other than a ration card. The children cannot afford to go to school but get excited when they find a coin or even a 10 rupees note while rummaging in the garbage, and this is their only way of living. So, my dear students, I request all of you to go through the first part of the chapter, and here I am giving you 3 questions as assignment. Question number 1. What is Sahib looking for in the garbage dumps? Where is he and where has he come from? What explanations does the author offer for the children not wearing footwear? Or is Sahib happy working at the tea stall? Kindly do all three questions today itself, and very soon I will be for you with the second part of the chapter, The Lost Spring. Thank you. Have a nice day.